8 teams, 2 divisions. AFC East, NFC West. Let's see who's the best. Alright, man, so the NFL has new rivalry uniforms that we've been waiting on since forever. Since they even dropped the news, we've been waiting for them like a pair of new Jordans. So the NFL and Nike collaborated to bring the fans select designs unique to each team and their city. The teams get new uniforms and the fans, they get some rivalry gear and merch. Now, every team will debut their new rivalry uniform during a single home game against a division rival this upcoming season. And that's good because at least the NFL and Nike is making sure that teams actually wear these uniforms. If they took the time in designing it and promoting it, oh, y'all gonna put this shit on and actually play in it. Unlike the Redskins back in the day who never actually wore their color rush uniforms. Y'all remember these joints here, these gold joints? What happened to these? They say that Nike has partnered with each team to get their authentic reflection of what makes their teams, fans, and city as a whole unique. And this sort of gives me the DITFconnect uniforms vibe that the NBA has, and even the MLB, they have their special uniforms. So it's almost as if the NFL had a version of that, then this is it. And that's cool, man. I'm all the way here for it. I'm always for the NFL finding a way to add in more designs and uniforms. And let me just say, these have an ugly but intriguing quality about them, if that makes sense. Now, here's the schedule for the 2025 Rivalries games. I think that it's real cool because after each uniform's debut, they will be included in the team's uniform rotation for not 1, not 2, but the next 3 years. And it also gives us insight into the future that maybe we'll be getting new designs from teams every 3 years to just keep the league fresh as far as from an aesthetic standpoint. Now, the fact that these are called rival uniforms, we're going to throw these in the gauntlet. We're not going to do the typical rankings that we do for our alternate helmets and uniform rankings. No. We're going to put these teams against one another. It's a bracket style setup that will pit each rival and we'll see who comes out on top. So, 2 divisions, 8 teams. Let's get ready to rumble! Alright, so our first matchup is between the Bills and Jets. Now, let's be real. Just looking at these 2 uniforms, which one y'all think I'm going to pick? Come on now. So let's go ahead and put them out of their misery. The city of Gotham got another uniform from Gang Green. And then as always, the Jets dropped the ball. They called themselves representing the city, but ended up taking the worst elements of the city. They went all black as if we haven't seen this before. Working top to bottom, it's a black shell with a steel colored Jets logo. Not a fan of that at all. You see they added a stripe down the middle that has like this certain pattern up there. We're going to get to that in a second. But moving down to the jersey, and it's black. It's a subtle green that they can put a filter on to give it a hazy, smoky type look. But let's be real. From a bird's eye view, this looks black. Okay. And it's some subtle green. But anyway, the shoulder stripe is black and silver. And then this pattern on the sleeves, which at first I had no damn idea what the hell it was. But when you look closer, you can see that it kind of mimics the pattern that you find on manhole covers on the streets of New York. So the pants also had the same thing. And I'm just not a fan of this at all. This does not look like New York City. Give me city lights, rush hour, vibrant city vibes with the pulse and electricity. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they're trying to downplay New York as if New York is nothing but dank alleyways and gray clouds or some shit. It's an odd but fitting choice for a team who plays like sewage. Next, we have the 49ers versus the Cardinals. Now, according to Sports Illustrated, the Niners won this matchup by a landslide. They say it's the most voted uniform of them all for this rival series. But guess what? This ain't Sports Illustrated, and they ain't keeping it real. Because first of all, let's not act like the 49ers didn't go all black with their color rush uniforms a while back. And if we're being honest, these don't even look all that different. They say these were made as a tribute to the faithful, and that explains the faithful script across the chest of the jersey. I do like the bold red numbers with the gold outline in that custom saloon font. That's a nice touch. We got red stripes that mimic the striping pattern or blocking of their base uniforms, and the same goes for the pants. The only big update here is the helmet, which is all black. A first for the 49ers, I must add, which I do think stands out, especially with that red stripe, and the logo itself already pairs very well with black. I don't know why they haven't gone or opted for this type of helmet alternate anyway. But fans should be happy about this, and I think that that's where most of the hype is stemming from with this whole look. Fans are just happy that a blue blood franchise like the 49ers have finally added a new helmet to their rotation, and I get it. But to say that these are the best of all the rivalry uniforms that we've got for 2025, y'all tripping. Our next matchup is the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. Now, I was excited as hell to see what the Dolphins were going to roll out. I mean, there's so much that you can do when you're Miami. But when we finally got the look, I thought to myself, oh goody, another blackout uniform. Miami Knights. I feel like we have to stop overhyping this blackout craze, or otherwise teams are going to keep doing them as if they get a pass. But newsflash, it's not black. So for all y'all getting ready to race to the comments and say, dude, it's not black, I already said it, you don't need to. But the way that it looks, it might as well be black because it's this deep, deep, deep shade of blue that's just taking you to the abyss of the ocean where the dolphins don't even swim. I will add this, the colors, like the accent colors, the orange and the teal or turquoise, like those pops. And I like they are distributed very well. But too many people are hanging on to a lot of their players, raving about them. And I mean, again, it's their team. What else are they supposed to say? These suck. I don't want to play in them. Hell no. Because I feel like the Miami Dolphins need a whole redesign, honestly. They're one of the teams who, from compared to their throwbacks, the joints that Ricky Williams and them boys was playing in, this is a step down. And these rivalry joints are not that impressive to me at all. You know what I'm saying? Back bumper got the white base. You got the orange waves that mimic the ring around the dolphin. To be honest with you, they basically just took what their uniform is and just threw that dark blue up there for everything, and then just gave you these popping colors with their original accent colors. This is the thing that I will say to all of these teams. If you're going to go with a color, commit to it. And when you're the Dolphins, you have to play up to the strength of the branding around you. Give us Miami Knights, because if that's what they were kind of going for, then these ain't it. I'm thinking Miami Knights with a Miami Vice type of feel. Turquoises, pinks, vibrant colors. These, again, deep blue sea. And they got it wrong. The Seahawks and Rams face off in this NFC West battle. Now, the Seahawks are channeling their Oregon Ducks with this look here. I love the iridescent green helmet. Let me just get that out of the way. It sort of looks like their early 2000s helmet, but then that faint shade of green gets caught under the light and whoo, it just pops out with that metallic chrome finish. It has its own typical logo, you know, the typical Seahawks logo, and the back bumper reads 12 as 1. So I like that, you know what I'm saying? Pulling the 12s into it. But then it becomes a problem, and y'all gonna let me explain. Then you got the wolf gray jersey and the pants that look very similar to their existing wolf gray uniforms. But here is where you see the unique connection to their fan base, the 12s. Because the 12 pattern is all in the numbers. Green numbers with the 12s in them is a bit much. I'm not gonna hold you, okay? I mean, you already threw the 12s patch on the back of the collar of the jersey. You would think that that would be enough. I guess the director of marketing said that this is a tribute to the 12s and this is for them and this is what they were inspired by. Trust me, we get it. We get it. You have definitely shown that enough. But again, putting numbers inside of a number is just ass backwards to me. But let's move on to the shoulders, which is my favorite feature of the jersey, because I thought that these were to resemble something like the feathers. You know what I'm saying? If y'all look at the Hawk that they roll out during the games, I thought that it would look like, you know, that. But when you look closer and then you start to even watch their hype trailer video, you realize that these are sound waves. And I guess that's to represent them having one of the loudest stadiums in the entire NFL. Again, in honor of, you guessed it, the 12s. Look, I'm all for shouting out your fan base, especially when they got their own nickname, their own notoriety, and let's just say their own brand. But don't make it the basis of your entire design. I think they did themselves a disservice, and they did a disservice to the city of Seattle by only focusing on the 12s, as if the people and the city of Seattle is nothing beyond the 12s. Give us the Space Needle, the fish markets, rock and roll, something, shit. Hell, take my idea and make the fabric on the shoulders and pants representative of the actual Seahawk that flies out into the stadium before the games. Shit, that's a tribute to the 12s too. They like that damn bird. But anyway, bro, again, man, like I said, these are cool. I like the look of them. Iridescent green helmet, that's chef's kiss. But in a corny way, they just overshot on this 12s aesthetic and this whole tribute to them. And it don't have much appeal other than that. So the Rams will be moving on in this gauntlet. Soundwaves. Get the fuck out of here. All right, now we're in the second round and 4 teams stand. You got the Bills, the Patriots going head to head, and then you have the Rams and the Cardinals facing off. And this is going to be good. So let's focus on the Bills and Patriots. Now, I was stoked to see what the Patriots would do, as they're one of those teams that really don't venture that far from their traditional uniform set. In fact, they rarely bring out their throwbacks, despite New England and NFL fans alike clamoring for them. So I'm excited to finally see what their creative department can do when put to the test, and they did not disappoint. So they decided to shake things up with this nor'easter uniform. And they say that this was designed with the power and unpredictability of a New England storm in mind. And you can see they blended the region's natural elements, their rich maritime history, and football tradition all into one. I see they got the lighthouse in the photos. I love this whole branding, and I love the whole push behind it. These feel like New England. It got that East Coast feel, and y'all know what I'm talking about. If you just anywhere over there, like, y'all know I'm originally from the East Coast, so I can say that. Now, looking at the uniforms upon first glance, I like these for them. The blue is nice, okay? In fact, I love this shade of blue. It's a storm blue, it's fresh, and it modernizes the Patriots' whole get down just a little bit, because we know the Patriots can have that colonial America the Great feel to them. But the blue is nice, and it has meaning, again, reflecting the power and the resilience of the people who face them head on. It's got that icy feel to it. The jersey has some subtle design elements that connects New England's past, present, and future. Stay with me. If you look around at the collar, you'll see 6 red stars that represent the 6 New England states. The shoulder features a refreshed NE logo inspired by nautical lettering and compass points. Then the numbers have the vertical striping and mesh-like design from their iconic 1990s era when Drew Bledsoe was quarterbacking things. Then we check the stripe on the shoulders and the pants, and we see that they have that subtle netting pattern. And I can't forget the inside collar, which we won't see during the game, but I assume it's definitely something that people will care about if you are going to buy this jersey for yourself. So that reads, we are all Patriots. And I mean, through every storm, we are at the end of the day. Then we look at the helmet. It's a white matte helmet that is as white as snow. I'm talking about very crisp white. They gave us a metallic face mask, doubling down on that icy cold feel. And then they kept the logo pretty much the same for the most part. Now, the one thing I don't like, because this uniform is definitely likable, but the one thing I don't admire is the fact that they got away from their traditional color palette. In a sense, I feel too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have many pops of red. I think that that's the only thing keeping this good uniform from being great, okay? Because it's damn good. But red stars and red accessories don't make up for what is missing with the lack of reds. And all in all, these uniforms were built to weather the storm, and they did enough to make it this far, but their journey is going to come to an end in this gauntlet as we're going to move the Bills forward. But shout out to New England for finally sprucing up and getting their creative team juices flowing, because For a second, I thought that they just can't have any fun. I thought that they were one of the ones that the No Fun League was talking about because they rarely do anything. But shout out to them for this. These are nice. Moving on to the next matchup. So when I first saw Los Angeles Rams, I was pissed, okay? Because I thought that they were another blackout uniform. I mean, from far, far away, they look exactly like that. But similar to the Dolphins, when you get closer up on them, you can see that it's just a dark shade of blue, almost like a midnight navy. And in fact, these are called midnight mode. Now, where I don't give the Dolphins a pass for a deep dark blue, I reserve the right to give it to the Rams for the simple fact that this is on brand for LA. I live in LA. And if any of you know, the nights out here, especially when you're downtown, they look like this. And they captured the essence of the city very well with these. I mean, these uniforms are layered with design cues from SoFi Stadium and the city of Los Angeles as a whole, while also staying true to the legacy and the tradition of the Rams. But I did think it was funny that they were trying to get the players to do the midnight challenge. Some of them was coming up close and others, I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but I do like that they were including the players in something actually fun and activity based. You know what I'm saying? Not just the commercialized hype video when you move on. Like, they actually had fun with this whole rollout. Now, let's look at the actual uniform. The helmet has two textures. They did the matte midnight base and glossy sole. I'm guessing that's the horns. Speaking of the horns, they made sure to use their current sleeve design and incorporate the horn on those. And what I like about that is it's a full horn, not that cutoff one that these new uniforms have. Now, looking deeper at the pattern of the sleeve, and if you check out the stripe on their pants, it's mimicking the roof of SoFi Stadium, which only confirms the fact that the Rams have claimed SoFi as their own. They planted their flag. And if that doesn't convince you, then allow me to remind you, what I don't even have to because they did it in their design when they put it in the inner collar. It reads Rams House, a phrase they made popular after winning Super Bowl 56 against the Bengals. And they got that stitched in the same font as the Hollywood Park racetrack sign. And that's an ode to Inglewood. So only more reason for the Los Angeles Chargers to move their asses back to San Diego where they belong. Anyway, aside from that, I love this look. I think that it's fire. Again, these are right there with the Patriots. Not bad, but just not better than the ones that we're getting ready to talk about. So we're down to two teams in this 2025 Rivals uniform gauntlet, and we got the Buffalo Bills and the Arizona Cardinals. The Bills unveiled the cold front uniforms, and this one is cold. You can really see the direction to freeze their primary color. I mean, actually, they don't have any red. They removed the red from the uniform completely to give you a true cool vibe when looking at these. Sort of reminds me of the Winter Warrior Vikings uniforms. If y'all can go back, y'all know what I'm talking about, the all-white uniform. So there's a little carbon copy-ness going on, but we'll give them a pass, I guess. But the jersey sleeve is real nice. As a matter of fact, this is the first time they've actually put the charging buffalo on the sleeve of a jersey, and they executed this well. But don't stop there. Check out the texture. See, I feel like on these joints, you got to be real keen to looking for details. You got to get out the magnifying glass and be damn near like Inspector Gadget just to see all the details because you might miss something. So when you look at the sleeves, again, you can see the ice texture, the cracks on the shoulders and the pants leg, and then it has that white spackle. And when you hear what they said about it when they were designing it, they wanted it to look like ice, obviously, but they also wanted it to mimic the snow that's on a buffalo's fur or coat. You know what I'm saying? So just think about when you see buffalo out there on the field getting ready to get eaten by mountain lions and shit. You can see the snow just on it, and they mimic that. So I love that. I love that aesthetic. That's very detail-oriented, very on brand. They have Bills Mafia in the collar. But that's enough with the jersey. Now let's look at the helmet. The helmet is beautiful. Okay? I'm a cold nature guy, so I'm going to be a little biased when it comes to cold aesthetics. And it doesn't get no better than this. Just look at the stripe, bro. Look at the stripe. It's their same stripe. Again, like with the same blocking, but it's dipped in ice and frozen with those ice cracks that you can see. You don't even have to get up close to these. You could be a couple of paces back and still be able to find the cracks in this ice. I love this. And then the logo with the buffalo, again, they removed the red. You got this steel colored buffalo that's also with the blue. But then shout out to the Buffalo's entire creative team. They gave us a mini documentary style behind the scenes of their creative process. And that's real dedication, man. You're including the fans, letting people see your process, and I respect that. The theme of this was on point. They locked in with the whole cold feel, locking players in the freezer for the hype video. But that's the Bills. On the other side, we have the Arizona Cardinals, who are the perfect match for the Bills, I feel like, because the Bills are inspired by the cold and the Cardinals by the heat. You got the heat miser versus the cold guy. I forgot what his name was called. I think he was the winter miser or something. Anyway, now, the Cardinals come into this matchup with the uniforms that are built to last. They introduced the Desert Cardinal. Now, when you talk about details, they got it, okay? This uniform mirrors the harshness of the desert heat, the shards of sand in a desert storm. That explains the sand-blasted helmet, jersey, pants, everything from top to bottom. Now, they say that the pattern is inspired by the shifting sand in that desert clay. And I mean, that's the vibe that these are giving off with this color and texture. The helmet has those matte copper flakes. I love these to death. And then the 3D enhanced decals are fire. I like the color on these. If you look at the copper on the beat, I mean, pristine. It's beautiful. Red face mask. Then the back bumper has the 3D finish on that as well of the sunset rays to mimic the state flag, which I'm a double fan of. Moving down to the pants, there's an asymmetrical red and copper stripe that is tough. It just pops out on that fabric. And I mean, the blend of colors is beautiful, man. Now, moving back up to the jersey and checking out the back, we see the Desert Forge nameplates with that distinct font. We get the wingtip red numbers that I think are very nice. And then the final detail, my favorite, the state flag is making a return on the sleeve. So shout out to them for bringing this back because I personally wanted it back. We know Arizona fans wanted it back. So, and I also like how it's actually in the shape of Arizona on the map. So that's a plus too. Again, creativity, okay? Now, they did an excellent job in giving us the detailed review in video form. They also did a good job with their promo rollout, I mean. You know what I'm saying? So, because I feel like sometimes you got teams that'll roll out their promo video and it doesn't even have the star players in it. They be having these randos that looks like they just got a guy off the street. All in all, between the Bills and the Cardinals, you guessed it, man. I'm rolling with the Arizona Cardinals and that Desert Cardinal uniform. They win this year's Rivals uniform rankings, gauntlet, whatever you want to call it, and that's just what it is. But man, shout out to Nike and the NFL for bringing this series, this rival series, to the people. I can tell y'all now, these have a certain template, and the teams were given full control on how they wanted to freak it, and they could freak it how they saw fit. You know what I'm saying? So some teams aced the assignment, and others, well, let's just say they can retry in a few years. But these are fun looking, and I think that they'll do exactly what they're intended to do. Attract new fans, different demographics, and just help keep things fresh. I mean, anytime the commissioner, Roger Goodell, is pushing to have 100-game seasons, you got to have something to keep the fans on their toes, right? Now, we can look forward to 2026, 2027, and 2028 as the remaining divisions and teams will get their rival uniforms as well. So I'm glad, man. It guarantees that we're going to keep getting fresh looks from all of these different organizations who at one time, the NFL was very behind in the uniform department. But that's the end of this video, man. If you enjoyed this, you already know what to do. Hit that thumbs up one time. Comment your favorite uniform. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. And let us know your thoughts, man. For real. Because these joints is different. So I'm very curious on what the people is feeling or not feeling about these rival uniforms. But I'm going to get out of here, man. It's Vinny, known by many, and this is Deep in the Field, where you know we keep it real. I'm going to get at y'all real soon. So stay tuned. Peace.